Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about, before you sign that dotted line to purchase your manufactured home, these are some questions that you should ask before you make that buy. It's not in a certain order, but make sure you ask these questions before you buy. I'm just saying. Responsible for transportation, getting the manufactured home to my actual land. Who will be responsible for it? Also, will there be any additional costs, like maybe extra pilot cars, or permits, or escort services? What will be the charges and how much will the charges be? And will you be responsible or will I be responsible? This really plays into effect if you're purchasing a used manufactured home from maybe not a dealer, or maybe you'll be purchasing it from a private owner. These are questions that you really need to ask, fam. So the question is, do I need to handle the permits or are you going to handle it? And if so, which permits are you going to deal with? Are you going to deal with everything from me clearing the land if it needs clearing? Or are you going to deal with any water connection, electric connections? What permits will you be pulling? And which permits do I need to pull? Then you need to also confirm it with your county too as well. Another question is, what type of site preparation do I need to do? We know we're going to bring in a home. We know we need clearance. Do I need to do any clearing, or are you going to be responsible for it? Will someone come out to my property and take a look before we decide on pricing, before we decide on anything? Will there be additional costs before the actual delivery of the manufactured home? Make sure that you got a good sound understanding. Make sure that you communicate and try to find any additional costs, because the worst thing you want is this process to be held up because you're responsible for the septic connection, electric connection, water connection, AC. Who's responsible? Am I responsible? Do I need to get my own person? Or are you responsible? And once again, who's going to do the actual permitting for this whole process? Because yes, you can come and you can install and you can pull the permits for the installation, but who's actually connecting the electrical? Do I need a power pole? Or can you connect directly to my power that's on my property? If it's underground, will I have to dig a trench and run power to the actual home? Or will you do the trenching and will you do the running of the electrical? And if so, what are the costs that we will have to incur? Will there be additional costs after the home is brought? Or will this be financed into this whole package? Or will this be into the purchasing price? These are the questions that we really need to know. If you're financing this particular home that you're getting ready to purchase from a dealer, are you financing just the home? Or are you financing the home and the land together? If you got a lot of large tract of land, my tip would be, if you're financing with the land, to get maybe a FHA loan. That way you can do 3.5% and then wrap in all your infrastructure, the clearing, the electrical, all of that. Just say you want to buy a whole package. Only break up your land by maybe an acre or half an acre. Whatever the cost would do to mitigate those installation costs. Do not wrap up your whole land and tie it to this manufactured home or any home, period. I would not finance if I own large tracts of land, because here it is, you can section off maybe 3 to 5 acres of a 40-acre tract and just have that financed versus having your whole entire land that you already had paid for and lose everything if something happens. God forbid if something happens. Sometimes life happens. So they can only take that 3/4 of an acre, that 3 acres, or that 5 acres versus your whole 40-acre tract. Make sure you get these things before you sign on the dotted line. Make sure you know these things before you sign on the dotted lines. There can be some advantages in financing land and home. There could be some advantages in just financing a home. Now, typically, if you're just doing the home by itself, your interest rates are going to be a little bit higher, but you won't have everything wrapped up into there. And your down payment is going to be a little bit higher too as well. But now, if you want a real low down payment, there are some packages that you could probably do depending on your area. You really want to check and do your investigative work to find out if you can qualify for maybe an FHA. Depends on your salary, depends on the local, it depends on a lot of different stuff. They also have some agricultural loans that you could probably tie that in too, which will really help. And if you're a vet, oh man, you're looking at, in some cases, no money down whatsoever, and then that way you can get all your infrastructure all wrapped into that loan. So do your research, find out before you sign. Make sure that you know what type of AC unit, because a lot of those things on the lot, you don't actually see the AC unit. Make sure you take a look at the hot water unit. Make sure it's a reputable brand of hot water unit, and people will try to make profit. Get a clear understanding about your AC unit as well as your water heater, because those things in modern manufactured homes are either not installed or tucked away. You might can see the air handler unit. Check your piping, check what type of piping, check your faucets. Make sure that they are name brand. Your appliances, they typically come with a refrigerator, a stove, a microwave. Check the build-ins. Are we talking about something just special for this particular home that can only fit this particular home? Think about replacement. If you got a double refrigerator in some of these homes are very extravagant, they're very nice. Make sure that it's a brand that you can interchange. The size, the dimension is something that you can interchange at a later date, because nothing is worse than you buying something and everything flows together, and then later on, if you get ready to interchange it, nothing matches it. It only matches for that particular home. That may not seem important right now, but trust me, especially to the missus, the queen of the home, a lot of that stuff matters, and especially long term, think about replacement, and think about replacement costs too as well. So pay attention to those things. Will the home be leveled, anchored down, tie down, hold down straps? What type of system will you be installing for the hold down straps? Especially if you live in the southern part of this country. But really now, we got hurricanes, storms, tornadoes, a little bit everywhere. Spend the time to discuss the things that you need for your special installment. Some places require a concrete pad. If it is a concrete pad, will I have to have that installed prior? Or will you take care of those services? What are the costs? Is this something that I could actually do and take care of myself? Will it be more cost effective if I get someone else to do it, to prepare the land? And if it's so, what are requirements? What are the things? How thick does the pad have to be as far as inches? All of these different things need to be discussed. Tie downs, how many feet apart? Will it be 3 feet apart, 4 feet apart, or every 6 feet? How will they be installed? Will they be cemented? Will there be any type of special things that I might need to provide? Blocks. Do I need to supply any blocks, concrete center blocks? Or will everything be all included into the price? And if so, make sure you get it in writing. Get everything that you discuss in writing. This is real big. Listen to me carefully. Give me an estimated timeline for when we sign, when I'm approved, when the home will be built, when will the home be delivered. Give me an estimated timeline. I understand there's a lot of variables. They have to depend on if you're getting it custom built. They got to depend on the manufacturer to build it. Give me some averages. What are the averages? Is it 6 weeks? Is it 4 weeks? Is it 3 months? Is it 2 months? Find out what is the average. Show me your averages on how long it takes to do a customized home from the manufacturer all the way to them bringing it on to the actual site. Then after they bring it onto the site, they're going to then bring it to your home. So a lot of those things, you really want to get a good timeline, because nothing is more frustrating than you expected it. Because when you come in, they'll say, we can get it in such and such time. That's fine, you said all of that in the beginning, but now once we have all the details and all the particulars, I want you to now reevaluate and give me a true estimate time when I can expect for my home to be delivered. Because nothing is worse than you prepping, maybe ending a lease or selling a home or getting ready to leave your place where you already are, and your expectations are here. By this date, I should be here. Nothing is more frustrating. Now I have to either do some a motel, hotel room, or I might have to do another lease, or I might have to do a month, or maybe extend my actual lease. You want to capture these timelines. You really want to give yourself a little fudge room, because anything can happen, any kind of delay. And if there is a delay, let's talk that through. If there's a delay in the actual home arriving, what does that look like? What type of delays do you all experience if there is a delay? What things are you willing to do to help mitigate some of these delays. Sometimes you even got to get the people that do it every day to kind of think about these things so that they can prep, because sometimes they do so many transactions that they actually forget sometimes that, hey, this is just part of the process. But no, I really don't care what you do with everybody else. To me, in my transaction, I need to make sure that it's well taken care of and it's well thought out, it's well planned. As a matter of fact, how about you just give me something in writing to show me the estimated, it's an estimate, but give me the estimated timeline. And then I can have a mental note and be prepared. Because nothing is worse in any type of major transaction than uncertainty. That's what kills a lot of business deals, is because one person think another person not being truthful because they were uncertain. They had an expectation here, but actually the level of service came here. So make sure the two can meet somewhat in the middle by having a great estimated timeline, because this is very important and there's a lot of pieces of moving, okay? All right, the home is there, the home is installed, but you gotta get in. You gotta get in the house, right? Who's gonna install the stairs? What type of stairs? Will it be a power pedestal? One of those rinky-dinky things? Will it actually be a carpenter to come out and build some stairs? Or maybe I want a porch. How much additional cost would it be to have a porch on the front and the back? Or any doors? Now, according to most state laws, they have to give you some type of steps to enter into the actual facility at all exit points. But sometimes you have French doors, sliding doors. They may not be required to provide steps or decking for that. Make sure, if you got a beautiful place, but you can't get in, you can't get out of it, make sure you get a clear understanding about what will be installed after the actual home is delivered. Because a lot of times, you go to these model homes, they already have a porch, they already have decking, they have all of that, and you have a visual that this is what it's going to look like. But in reality, a lot of times you don't get that when it's actually installed unless you ask for it. So let's have these discussions. Let's open up with these discussions, okay? Because you don't want to be crawling trying to get up in there. Make sure that you take the time and get a full understanding of what you are expecting and what you want. Go through step by step in the process. Make sure you can visualize, you can see it. Make sure you can see the documentation too, written out. Make sure you know every single piece and process. Ask questions. There are no dumb questions. Just ask questions, and try to also find someone else who has a manufactured home and ask them some questions. Ask them what were some of the things that they overlooked or they didn't know that was a part of the process. What was the good, what was the bad in the process. Get as much information as you possibly can, because this can be a long-term relationship. It can go good and it can go bad. As it relates to the technicians coming out, the plumbing, the AC, the electrical, the sewage, as each technician come out, it'll be great if you can have one common scheduler, one common hub where everybody, the installers, you know the installer's name, number, approximation on arrival, which day, and you all can communicate. Because a lot of times the salesperson, they might be tied up, but sometimes there may be delays or anything like that. It'd be great if you all can talk directly and have some type of form of communication, and also be able to see as each process is done. Maybe have a list of all of the different technicians that will be coming out, and then also have a schedule approximation on what day and what time. I know there's variance in times, but it should give you a range, at least which day they're coming, they're going to arrive. And then there should also be clear communication between the installers and yourself, the homeowner, because if they ever have any type of questions or anything, not sure about certain things, about things that you know about your property, it's great that they can pick up the phone and call you, or it's even better if you can be there doing the installation or connection of all these services. Take the time to take the time off, save that vacation time, whatever, to be there And then you can also see and be able to help them if they have any questions about anything as far as infrastructure on your property. A manufactured home can be very, very amazing. We've owned several in our lifetime, and we might even own a couple of more because it's so easy, it's so much faster, and we get everything brand new when we buy those new ones. They're not as expensive as a site built. A lot of people frown down on manufactured homes. Even in the real estate market, sometimes they may not give it a good quality appraisal due to the fact that it is a manufactured home. It's nothing but one of those things where it's a great way to keep affordable living not so popular. Trust me. Once you get one, you'll understand. If you get a quality, you do your research, you take your time, and make sure you're dealing with a quality builder, not necessarily the sales office. Sales office has nothing to do with the builder or the manufacturer, because some of these site-built homes, they built in the same location as some of these manufactured homes. A lot of the homes the site-built, they have a slab. They still truck in the majority of everything, and a lot of it is prefab. Sometimes you will find a builder that actually builds from scratch, but a lot of the joists, the walls, the framework, a lot of that stuff is already prefab when it arrives on your site. So let's get past that and let's understand that it's a difference, but at the same time, it's still a quality home. And this home has been a blessing for us, and hopefully it'll be a blessing for you. So I'm hoping that some of these tips will be a benefit to you, things that you may not physically see, because once you get over the beautiful layout, the beautiful plans, the tape and texture walls and the vaulted ceilings and the appliances, hopefully I can uncover some things that you may not see or you may not know about. If this is your first time purchasing a manufactured home, hopefully I can enlighten you on some things to look for, some questions to ask, some things to get put in writing to make your transaction a little bit more solid and a little bit more easier in the process.